Hey, Frazer Brookes here, and in this video I want to share with you how to close your prospects online. Okay, cool. So like always in these videos, somewhere around this video, whether it's below, above, you'll be able to actually access a free resource, a free PDF, a free cheat sheet on what I'm going to be covering now. So kind of think of it my summary notes, my cliff notes. So if you want to go ahead and click that button right now to get them, save yourself the next 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, you can go ahead and do so. I will not be offended. And if you do get value, please consider subscribing, liking, following, whichever you feel was best for you, and leave me a comment or share this video with other people. I would really appreciate that. All right, cool. So how to close online. And it's always funny because I remember the stories that I have and the feelings that I had whenever I remember this very, very clearly, and I'll share you this. So my dad said to me, my dad was my upline, he said, once I wrote my list, he said, what I want you to do is I want you to invite 10 people to come round to the house tonight. So I got on the phone and I started to speak to, and it was weird because I remember ringing one of my best mates and he answered. He was like, Frazer, are you all right? And I was like, yeah, why? He said, you never ring me? Like, I thought maybe there was a problem. I was like, oh yeah. So the first thing I learned was either communicate with your prospects how you always communicate with them, or communicate them in a way that's like, whoa, why is he communicating to me like this? He never communicates with me like this. So you either shock them or you're comfortable with them. All right? That's just two ways that I communicate. Anyway, spoke to 10 people, 6 said no, my 4 best friends said yes. My dad said, just to let you know, Frazer, that's 4 out of 10 is flipping awesome. Only expect one of them to come round. Well, I'd pitched it, I'd sold it to those guys that we're going to have a few drinks around the house and then I've got something to share with them. So I remember from the time I confirmed those guys, that my 4 best mates, to the time that they come around to the house, I was itching, I was getting a red chest, I was coming up with the itches, I was shaking, I was thinking, Dad, what am I going to do? All I thought about was the beers and the watching the football and all that, that's all good. But when I've got to do the presentation, what the hell do I do? I'm rubbish at this, I can't do this. And what do I do at the end when I've got to ask them to join? Because I can't sell anything. Little side note, I used to work in an estate agent or in the real estate game, for those of you our American friends and worldwide friends. And I did that for 4 years and I didn't sell a single house. I did the viewings, I was so bad. I am one of the worst salesmen you can ever meet. But I'm pretty good at telling stories, so, you know, that's what my skill is, I suppose. So, my friends come round to the house, my 4 friends come round to the house, we go into my dad was in my dad's house, my dad had like a games room where you could play snooker, have a few beers, watch the TV. So we watched the TV, watched the game. Then after it, I said, right lads, the reason why I brought you around here is I wanted to share something I've just got involved with, I'm super excited about it. Now, fortunately for me, they knew my dad's success, so they assumed like, wow, okay, this is going to work because it's worked for someone else. I had that on my side. So I remember kind of doing the presentation. I can't remember what I said because I was just high energy and I kind of blacked out in a way, I suppose. And at the end, towards the end, I was starting to think, oh no, now I've got to do it. Now I've got to do now I've got to do the presentation. Now I've got to do the presentation. Now I've got to do the closes. Now I've got to do the close. Now I've got to do the close. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? I'm panicking. I'm like, you know. And I asked them a question and they all joined and I was completely shocked. So I want to share with you that closing doesn't start when you start the closing process. Closing starts when you first initially talk to someone. It's very, very, very important to understand this. Closing starts from the moment you start to talk to someone, because there's a few reasons, but the main reason is they are looking at you they are looking to see what you are doing to see if they would actually do the same thing. So if you spam someone and eventually they see the presentation and they start thinking, oh, this would be really good, they then start to think back to when you first approached them, because you're saying in the presentation, so all you've got to do is what I did to you. And they go, oh yeah, I don't think I can spam my friends. Yeah, this isn't going to work. So they think, I'm not going to do it. But if you approach them, if you find them on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, you add them, you message them to let them know why you're adding them, then you look for the permission to share the information. It's a structure, it's a system, and the best way to close, in my opinion, is to promote the system of how you do it. right? The majority of people buying Starbucks franchises, Subway sandwich shop franchises, and McDonald's franchises is because they see the system and they go, flipping heck, I can get 16-year-old students to run the shop. I can pay them a really small wage. They can learn the system. I don't have to employ super, complicated, qualified people, and they can run the shop. So, here's the thing. I will find someone. I will ask them permit. I will connect with them. Find, connect. Look to ask for their permission. Then I won't be a fool. I will use a tool. I'll use a video, or I'll use an upline, or I'll use someone who's better than me. And if I'm the best, I'll record myself so I can just send them. I can get on with other things while they're watching a 10-15 minute video. I will then follow up, right? I will then follow up. And when I follow up, I will then basically say, what did you like best? And I will talk to them about what they liked best. So if they say the product, guess what I talk about? The product. If they talk about the business, guess what I'll talk about? The business. And at the end of every question I ask, I'll say, hey, is there anything else you need to know right now in order to get started today? That's it. Is there anything else you need to know right now in order to get started today? No, I think I'm good. Great. Sounds like you're ready to get started. Great. Sounds like you're ready to get started. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to go and go, ooh, wait, let me talk to you about the new incentive trip. Ooh, I didn't tell you about the car program. Ooh, let me tell you about my $1 million income earner top friend who's in a different team. They don't need to know that because they've not brought it up. It's like if you're trying to sell a house and people look around and they go, oh, I have a question about, are the carpets included? You say yes. Are the curtains included? Yes. This is really great. I really like the sound of this. You don't go, oh, and by the way, just to let you know, it's got a shared drive. And they go, shared drive, what do you mean? How's that work? Oh, well, I'll send you the paperwork over so you can have a little research through it. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's a bit off-putting. I didn't think about that. Right? You're putting thoughts in people's head, and in sales, the thoughts are the enemies, feelings are the friends. And as soon as someone says, I think I'll think about it, you've pretty much lost that chance going on there. You might need to follow up in a few months to see if timing's changed. All right? So the key to closing online is the process of how you've got them to the stage of closing, right? Because the system is important. Yes, the product's important. Yes, the person they're going to join is important. Yes, the compensation plan and how they're going to earn is important. Yes, the feeling of can I do it is important. But the system, the process that you put people through will most likely close them before the question of closing actually comes about. When you get that, everything changes. And if you want the actual script to this, I'll leave the link to my book down below, and I know you're going to see this in a couple of seconds when I finish this live as well. But go ahead and get it because the whole process is in there, right, from start to finish. All right, guys, can't wait to see you on next week's episode. Feel free to watch some of the other videos that I recommend to you coming up in a sec, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. What I've decided to do is I've put 2 little videos there that I recommend for you to go check out, but also be sure to check out my book, I Dare You. It is the ultimate guide to building a network marketing business using social media. So all you have to do is click the link somewhere down the bottom there to go get your copy.